Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Now, today I've got an email question, and it's from D. And D says this. And yes, my query is regarding the whole picking the fruit before it's ripe stage of manifesting contact with your specific person. I have made this observation in recent times that there is absolutely no LOA channel on YouTube which elaborates about how to approach and go about the whole stage of interacting with your specific person after having established contact successfully due to detachment and surrender towards the said intent. I sincerely feel that my ongoing journey of manifesting a relationship with my specific person has been a lofty one throughout and has had a tremendous amount of inconsistency due to the fact that I find myself at a loss about how should my overall demeanor be when I talk to my person. Even in your success story videos, there has often been a brush over the journey between establishing contact right up to being in the stage of manifesting a relationship with them. Thus, I strongly feel that you should be the one to take up on this issue. Okay, so D, you have to be relaxed. You have to just be in self-loving state, because when you are in that state, whatever you say is fine. Whatever you communicate about is just natural. I can't give you a cardboard cutout of, okay, say this, and then when they say this, you say that. It doesn't work that way. There has to be a flow about you. There has to be a relaxedness about you. There has to be a just going through the exchange with them in a manner of just joy and fun. Okay? So that would be my words of suggestion about how to go about this. Okay? See, when you are in a self-loving state, you're not scrambling for words, you're not looking for the right thing to say, because you're not trying to get approval, you're not trying to get love. All this stuff has to be natural, okay? You have to be natural. You have to be at peace. You have to be just trusting your own intuition about what comes out of your mouth and what goes through your head, okay? So, now you've said, question 1, should my overall tone be positive regardless of whether I find out any of her life events that I'm not happy about? Well, if something comes at you that you don't like, just go, on the inside. I wouldn't say this on the outside. Just go, not to my liking. When I get a chance, I'm going to look at what it is in me that's attracted that. Okay? Now, you've also said, you said that I should keep my responses to any disapproving events as neutral. Could you please shed some light on the same? Well, whatever someone's doing, if they're not with you, it's really none of your business. I hate to be that blatant, but they're there, they're just living their lives, and they might be sharing something with you. And there is going to be some times in your life where people in your life are not going to do the things you want them to do. So, unconditional love, let them be. Loving under any condition. This is where you learn how to do it, you see. Okay? And just hearing the information. And if you don't like it, just absorb it as best you can. And then you don't need to speak. You don't need to make it worse. You don't need to just hold your feeling to yourself and say to yourself, I'll deal with that when I can. Okay? So, yeah, people have the right to do whatever they want, and it's up to us to look at the meaning we assign to it. Okay? I'm actually going to put down in the description below, there was a fantastic YouTube from Morty about the meaning we assign to things and how we can look at that within ourselves. So I'm going to put that down in the link down below in the description so you can have a look at that. Okay, number 2, how should I respond to the first text or first contact from them after a long time? I'm asking this of you because if our response to the text is delayed, deliberately, example, replying after an hour or so, then it should not come from a place of ego. Would like to reiterate Shiva 7's point of assessing the seriousness of our person when it comes to their intentions, for not only initiating but also maintaining contact. Also, should we keep the tone of our conversation predominantly neutral or relatively positive? Well, firstly, I would look at when I reply to the text, what state am I in? The state is most important. And we know that the state of feeling loved, feeling wanted, feeling secure, we write much better texts when we're in that state, when we're not really in caring what people think, when we're carefree, when we're happy, we've had a good day, and we get the text and we go, oh, that's nice. And then if you're in that state, you can message straight back. But if you're in that needy longing, not feeling great, haven't had a good day, leave it and get yourself into the right state. So the behind the scenes is more important, is the most important. Because again, like the previous thing that we just commented on, that it's the feeling free, feeling natural, feeling happy, feeling good. Make phone calls when you feel like that. Send texts when you feel like that. Communicate with your person or a difficult boss or anybody else when you feel like that. When you're not feeling good, try and keep this zipped and keep that away. Don't text and don't make things worse. Because when you're in that state of not feeling great, you say things that you shouldn't say, you do things you shouldn't do, and then it ends up pouring petrol on a fire, which many of you I know have experienced because you've emailed me about it. So, number 3, I strongly reckon that I have a fear of being an enabler when it comes to reacting to contact initiatives by my person. That is, I don't want them to take my unconditional positivity and loving projections towards them. Despite of not having contact with them for a significant time, which I'm honestly okay with, by the way, because of detachment, for granted. So I don't want them to take my unconditional positivity and loving projections toward them for granted. I know that accepting of the situation as it was created due to my quality of thoughts, but they don't need to know that, right? They don't need to know that, right? Would be awesome if you elaborated this theme in your subsequent videos, as the recurring theme of self-forgiveness in a series of your videos this week was very much appreciated, helpful and commendable. That's all for now. Okay, so let me just answer that one. Question 3. I don't want them to take my unconditional positivity and love projections towards them for granted. Okay, D, you gotta try and understand that if they took it for granted in the past, it's because you had I'm taken for granted as a belief. You gotta start to understand everything that you experienced with someone was a projection of your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings about you, about them, about the relationship, okay? Now, once you really understand that, the whole I need to forgive them and I need to revise what they did goes away. Because you understand it was you. You really understand it was you. And I'm going to say it one more time. You really understand it was you that created that with them. Okay? They didn't do anything to you. You created a hologram that came back at you. Okay? So I understand people are at different stages of understanding that. And the more you try and understand it, and the more you work on understanding it, I can honestly tell you, you don't need to go over and over and try and forgive people. When my ex left Australia to go to the US, and he sent me an email to say, and I thought we were still kind of together, to say that he'd got married and his wife was pregnant, and when he left, we were still, I thought, working things out. That was a massive blow for a few months. But when I look at everyone as you pushed out, what I had going on, fear of loss, fear of betrayal, fear of abandonment, I'm second best, I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy, I'm not a priority, I don't matter, and I'm not secure, then it's no wonder that created itself. Do I need to forgive him? No, hell no. I needed to forgive me because I didn't know better. I didn't understand that this is how creation works. Now I understand that's how it works. All I have to do is go, oh, whew, ouch, that hurt. Doesn't anymore because I understand what happened. Do I resent him? No. Do I forgive him? I don't really need to anymore. Did I have to at the time? Yeah, for the first year I did. I was trying to work on that because I still didn't understand everyone was you pushed out. So the understanding is not so much about how to forgive. The understanding is really getting what the heck did I do to myself? Okay? Thoughts are things. They're alive. And the feelings that are stuck all over them as they go out create. Okay? So, I hope that makes a bit more sense. I'm getting a lot of emails where people say, yeah, I understand everyone's me pushed out, but there is no but. There's just everyone is you pushed out. And if you got some shit there, then there's some shit you got to look at. Okay? So look at it and dismantle it and go, I've got to forgive me and I've got to understand that I did the best I could at the time, but I didn't know better. And now I've got this situation that I've got to clean up for me. It's not about getting them to apologize. It's not about really trying to get them to get here and do something different. Or it's about you just being in the, I didn't know. And that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But now I can focus my way out. Just turn that way and go. And save yourself months and weeks of angst and anguish and pain that you start here with yourself. And then you create incredible negative emotion like depression and anger and resentment and hurt. And I'm crying all the time. That's all starting here from your interpretation of what is going on. And they're not doing anything to you. You are. Get that. Fix it with the self-love. Surrender it. Let it go. Focus on self-love. Make that the mission. It's not about getting to a specific person. It's about getting back to you. It's about getting back to you and loving you and getting that the answer isn't over there with a specific person. It's about loving you so much that being with the specific person is just the cherry on the cake. This is where the stuff is. The good stuff is here with you every day. Love you. Become emotionally more attractive in your own eyes and then in the eyes of somebody else, but not the other way around. Okay? I know I've said it a lot, but sometimes it's still not getting through. And I know some of you are new to the channel, so that's totally fine. You're getting on deck and you're learning and no problem. But those of you that have been here and with me for a long time, do not email me saying, I know everyone is you pushed out, but I don't want to hear that anymore. Everyone is you pushed out. And if you've got some crap in front of you, go, what the heck am I doing? And dismantle it for yourself and save me reading another email. Please. Oh, self-love. I know I've said it a lot of times, but self-love is stop doing this to yourself. You know, my mum said to me once, how many times are you going to do this to yourself? And I remember being really angry. But you know what? She was right. How many times was I going to create some kind of abandonment, some kind of second best, some kind of third party, some kind of someone just disappears and then I find out that they're married? You know, that was all created by me. So you can take responsibility and go, what can I do to change this? And then do it daily. There's no secret formula. You do the self-love, you do the affirmations, you have extreme self-care around sleep, around food, around exercise, around what you put in your head. You get off social media and you stop stalking people and you put your energy into you, okay? Into you. Then you become emotionally attractive and then you become attractive to someone else. But you got to start acting like a person that has those qualities of someone that's in a good relationship first. Okay, so D, one more thing. I don't want them to take my unconditional positivity and love projections towards them for granted. Now, you see how you've got that active in you. They're going to take my stuff for granted. So what happens? That state in you creates the very thing you say you don't want. Because if you yell yes at something, it comes towards you. If you yell no at something, it comes towards you. It's a focus-based universe. Anything that you put your attention on is what comes in, and that is what you get. So if you're saying, I don't want them to take my unconditional positivity and love projections towards them for granted, you've just launched that, so it's going to create itself. So you can clean that up quickly. Don't do it anymore. Okay? That's all I have to say.